Just a quick video to share what I have learned about the 2001 Mercedes Sprinter 313 CDI. An adorable, great vehicle. I have gotten my hands on the high line, so the extended roof. I'm 2 meters tall and stand up straight inside there when working, loading, living, traveling, surfing, whatever. Great vehicle. Such an upgrade from my VW Combi, which I still have and love. They both are gorgeous in their own ways. Fuel economy is unbelievable on this turbocharged diesel engine from Mercedes. She's nearing 200,000 kilometers now and gives no problems at all. Great power boost on the turbo, very little lag, governed to 120 kilometers an hour. Can have a governor removed if you like, but you don't want to be traveling that fast with such a big rig, especially often towing or carrying something heavy. But at 120 she sits on the road very well, very safe in all weather conditions. So the point of this video, Mercedes Benz have an A and a B service. Very basically, an A service is just oil and oil filter change. B service is all filters and all fluids and a few checks here and there. The internal and cam you have to have checked and probably done at about 140 to 170,000 kilometers, and again at 240 to 270,000 kilometers. Obviously always watching the oil that you take out of the engine for any shavings or metal or something coming out of the engine through the oil that's not supposed to be there. She's a darling. She's super bulletproof. She runs well, she doesn't eat a lot of fuel, doesn't moan, doesn't overheat, pulls well, brakes well, handles well, climbs well. I've used it to tow a variety and carry a variety of different loads. I actually decided on this vehicle because of its fuel economy, its power output when you put the pedal to the metal, and just the load space, carry capacity. And in South Africa and Africa southern regions, Mercedes Benz is the best in terms of performance, reliability, build, parts, aftermarket parts. Not necessarily aftermarket parts, but after service and after sales parts availability, serviceability through the different provinces and regions that I travel and countries, and then the cost of those service and parts. They are comparatively actually more affordable, wider available, and more people can work on the vehicles than Iveco, Ford, Opel, which is Vauxhall, VW, Volkswagen. Those vehicles are all great in their own way, but if you can get hold of a Sprinter, you're going to be very safe and very happy. Obviously, coolant, a little hidden secret. Power steering fluid, took me a while to find that cap. Diesel filter, very easy, in, out, on, off, unscrew, replace, rescrew. Very important when you replace a diesel filter, fill the thing up with diesel before you install it, otherwise you get back pressure airlock, whatever you call it in your country. Make sure you fill it up so the line stays full of diesel. That is a diesel and water separator. There's a gauge inside the car as well, which monitors it and tells you when it's full. And when you need to drain it, you simply undo. Shit, I don't want to drop our phone here now. Let's try to do this. You simply undo the little nut in the bottom, and let it drain out, and then the sensor should pick up and tell you it's green to go again. I replaced this entire inlet pipe. The original is black and all rubber. However, on the Benz, because of the suction and the squeeze and the movement, it gets hairline cracks, and it affects your turbo boost, and it spills oil out while it's trying to boost. And you've got it goes into like a limp mode or non-turbo mode, whatever you want to call it. And if you put the engine on and off, you can get it going again. I actually patched and sealed the whole thing while I was moving around, and then I replaced the pipe when I got to a auto performance parts place, because Mercedes Benz gave me a hard time in South Africa, saying they couldn't get it. That was part of a bigger complication where they had done some kind of replacement on their parts distribution model, and it made a mess, and they had back orders a mile long, so parts were very difficult to get hold of. And they told me they couldn't find it, and I said fine, cool. I went to some of my Indian Chinas. You know, an Indian bra and a car is like a magician in a black hat, bro. They just make a plan, and it's been a beauty since then. The engine is much happier with this setup. Gets lacquer suction, cooler air. There's the airbox, air filter, quite obvious. Brakes, fluid. Need to replace this cap, but that's just water for the windshield. Down here in the bottom right, I'm going to use my fingers. Here's your solenoid on top, little round cylindrical thingy, and there's your positive and negative. If you ever want to hot start the vehicle with a screwdriver, do not use a magnetic screwdriver. You're going to get a big surprise like I did, but I figured it out eventually. That's when you have a problem with your starting sequence and you need to hot start it. If you don't know how to do that, find out, otherwise you're going to hurt yourself or the vehicle. Underneath the solenoid is the starter. A handy tip I learned with this vehicle as well when I had starting problems. If you use a metallic, say a wrench or a bar of a tightening wrench, or a thick metal something, whatever, I'm sure even probably wood wouldn't work because it's magnetic, and you give it a few taps, a few loving taps on the side of the solenoid and the starter, it kind of gets it going, or the magnet rolls or moves or clicks or whatever the hell it does, and you can get the vehicle going again in an urgent situation. But only a few times, and then it sort of packs up. And I had the solenoid replaced. It ended up being that. But I went a good few journeys while I was saving up for the new solenoid, and then I had it replaced. So that's that. And there's not much else. Obviously engine oil on top. On the right hand side, if you're facing the vehicle on the right hand side, the sump nut is under there. Let's see if I can show it to you. What's up, kitty cat? Hello, want. It's behind that. It's the back one there. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Almost. What the hell's in the way? I put the wrong side of the camera. Oof. There it is there. There is a bit of oil all over the place there. That's from a knock that the vehicle took in on a journey, and the steering rack is leaking oil right now. And I've got a quote to have it fixed, saving up for it. But for now, just keeping an eye on the power steering fluid, so that the little motor that creates the power steering pressure doesn't get hurt or burn out. That's the only option I have right now, because the vehicle must work every day. I can't stand still, and I don't have the money right now to replace or have the steering rack removed, fixed and put back in. Just wanted to share that. I don't see anything else. In my specific vehicle, the aircon and heating has been turned off because it got faulty, and this pipe that runs here was bugging me because I didn't know where it was coming from, and it was pushing and pulling air. It's part of the aircon or something. It doesn't do fuck all. Oopsie, doesn't do anything. And down there I've got a sensor that's loose. This little guy here. I actually think it's part of the part of the oil management and monitoring system. When I lift the vehicle up soon to remove the steering rack, we'll see where that goes in exactly. Somewhere down there, I believe, is the is a monitor or a sensor or a filter, and that's got to be paired up with that. Apparently, it's got to do with pressure, I believe. I'm not quite sure. Maybe someone can tell me. All right, cool. And then Yassi, this guy here is your oil filter, diesel filter, oil filter. What a story to get this off. It's very tight. You're not going to get it off with your hands. You need to get a special tool, or you have to get a chain. I think it's called a chain wrench. It looks like a socket wrench arm bar with a chain, literally a chain that's connected to it in circular form, and it wraps around there and then pulls it off, and you replace and then put it back on. But yeah, so that's my share. I hope it's handy, and yeah, have a nice day. Pardon again the French earlier.